the man from down under with a little thunder, WWE and Pro Wrestling Hall of Famer, Bushwhacker Luke. I hear something else comes from down under too. The Wrestling with Figs podcast with my mates Chris and James. You gotta tune into this great podcast because Chris and James will give you all the inside info. Whoa! Yay!
Whoa, yeah. It is Tuesday night. We're here doing the Wrestling with Figs podcast. I'm your host, Chris Maddock, over in Western Australia. And joining me over in the East is...
your other host, your favourite host, James Thomas, joining you from beautiful Port Macquarie, which it's, once again, it's bloody raining. This rain will not go away on the east coast of Australia. Very, very annoying. How is everyone? Hope you're all well.
Every week, beautiful Port Macquarie, and it's raining. Over here in the West, we've had nothing but sunshine for about 3 or 4 weeks. It has been absolutely bliss. Good time to be a PE teacher when it's the middle of autumn.
Nice.
There is nice to do sport out in the oval when there's not too much heat. But speaking of heat, there is plenty of heat in the fig world at the moment. It's been another big 2 weeks. But before we go there, mate, Mother's Day just happened. Your wife, lovely wife, you got your 2 boys. What did you do for her?
The old breakfast. I cooked breakfast, tried to do it with my 2 boys, but that just turned into a little bit of a disaster. So I had to kick them out of the kitchen and just made a beautiful breakfast, had a great day. What did we do? We went to the basketball court, shot some hoops, went to the beach, come back on the lounge and watched the footy. It's a great day.
That sounds more like it was Father's Day than it was Mother's Day.
You know what? It's tough for my wife because there's 3 boys in the house, me included. Yep. So she hasn't really got a choice. You know what I mean? What about yourself, mate?
Obviously, I am a real romantic, and I very early got up and went down to our local little cafe, got my wife a nice coffee to wake her up with, and then told her to get the hell out of bed because we've got to go to soccer. My son had his soccer game on at 7:30 on Sunday morning.
Nice. That's early.
But I was the referee, so she could relax and just watch, which is my role at the club. And then we came back home. I made a nice brunch, and then she went to work because she works teaching ballet in the afternoon, which was great. So then we had a nice relaxing afternoon while she was at work, and
nice.
And wasn't too bad. Saw one thing though. I'm going to use this next year. And if you're listening on the podcast, it is Vanilla Ice. Word to your mother. So
what about the jawline on him? Wow,
mate, Vanilla Ice, handsome bloke back in the day.
Yeah.
Until meth got stuck in there. Hey, have you seen any good movies in the last couple of weeks?
No, but I've seen a good docu-series.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's a movie coming out. I hadn't even heard this was being produced. I've got an image for you of the of what's it's going to be called, and it is part of another franchise. Didn't think this guy could still act, but let's see what you think of it. The new movie coming out is called Bam Bam Bigelow, Male Gigolo. Have you heard of this one?
No, I haven't heard of that one, mate. It's probably the sequel to what's the original one called?
Juice Bigelow, Male Gigolo.
Juice Bigelow, nice. Look at that head on him. Bam Bam was an ugly, ugly man, wasn't he? Wow.
Good actor, though. I liked him in Major Pain. And just before we get started, mate, I've got to share one other thing. You know, I'm a big Dockers fan. Okay, so huge Dockers fan. They are having their best season in the AFL in probably 8 years, maybe 6, 7 years. I
thought you said they were going really bad.
No, that's the Eagles. The Eagles are going terrible. Dockers are going great. And what I love about the Dockers is their fans. We've copped a lot of flack over a long time. We've never won a premiership. Yeah. We've had a lot of bad decisions made by the club, but they seem to be finally getting their shit together. And some cheeky Dockers fans are starting to really rub it in that the other local team, the West Coast Eagles, are on the bottom of the ladder. And I saw this online that they're already trying to sell a West Coast Eagles wooden spoon for seeing that they're going to finish last, even though the season is still in its early days. So very, very funny.
You know what? I might just ring up the local Western Australia drug dealer and get some crystal meth or ice back down to the club because that's when they're most successful, right? When they're on supplements.
I'm not going to put that on record, but if you want to, that's what you can.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, they do like to go to the hippie club at the moment as well over here. Tell you what, if you ever head over to Perth, I'll take you to the hippie club. And if the floor is still the same, it was like a nightclub with carpet. So
yeah, nice.
You'd walk around and it was like squelch, 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 sticky spots. And it's not a great place.
It'd be like walking on the Great Barrier Reef, wouldn't it, during the day?
Pretty much at the hippie club. If you stayed there till closing, you could eventually meet someone.
Yeah.
It was like a last man standing bar that, the attractive people found each other early and left. And then the next group of attractive people found each other early and left. And at the end of the night, there was me and a few other ugly chicks.
There you go. Look, speaking of Mother's Day, happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful mums out there, those with us and those watching from above. It's always a special day. But I was just reading an article today. Do you hear about Chris Paul, Phoenix Suns player, playing against the Dallas Mavericks? So they're warming up, and a fan allegedly has pushed his mother and put his hands on Chris Paul's wife. And I was just watching the video before we jumped online, and Chris Paul's like, hey, I'll see you after, and rightfully so. Like, he's pretty pissed off about it. But I don't know whether it was just, I couldn't see the face of the person, but it looks like a teenager. Looks like a kid that did it.
He's playing a bit of D.
Yeah, what?
He's playing a bit of D on the mum.
Yeah. Look,
he heard the crowd going, defense, and he went, I can do that.
Wrong to do it. But if that's a kid, I get you fired up. But I don't know. Like the way he was saying, I'll see you after. Like I'm going to get you. If it was a kid, you'd be disappointed and you'd be angry. I don't know if that's the right reaction.
Well, let's put it out there. America, you don't have the best history of culture and social equity. So,
malice in the palace.
Not that us Australians are really in any place to give you a critique, but I would say, I lived in America for 2 years and I never had a bad experience with anyone in terms of everyone always treated me fairly. I treated everybody else fairly. Never had a bad experience like that. However, you can just feel the ingrained racism and the violence. There's so much violence. People just get angry and then they want to fight. But anyway, let's move on. We've got a big show.
We do. All right, community news. Let's get
news.
And as always, at the top of the show, we want to thank Go Figure Collectibles, who always support, who are proud supporters of our great show and our community. Use code FDU5 to receive your 5% off store-wide, and they've got a whole array of things, which I'll share a certain piece that I've picked from their shelves later in the show. Come and join us in the Figs Down Under community, FDU community, as we like to refer it to. Great bunch of guys and girls, trustworthy, honest, transparent, supportive. What else, Chris? What else? What other positive words can I throw in there about this great group?
Handsome.
Attractive.
Muscular.
Good with their words. Great group, guys. Come over and join us on Facebook. And you have the chance to watch this podcast live. So we do the live recording in the group, and then we obviously send it off to podcast land later at a later date.
And to be fair, if you are listening to the podcast now, it is better live.
It is better live, yes.
It's much funnier when you can see James's face.
That's right. Or Chris's reactions when I outdo him in Merge Perch.
Or when I get up in the live streaming and I'm not wearing any pants. That's also quite funny.
Very good. So I'm just sending a message. Distracted. All right, let's get into some figure news, Chris. I've called the show this week Aussies Making an Impact, and I'm really, you know me. I love it when I see Australians making an impact in the world, especially in the collecting community. Now, Sam Evans Art, we've given him a few plugs of late. We'll have to get him on the show one day so we can talk about his. He's a Perth boy, isn't he? He's one of your
WA.
WA.
I was the first one to feature him on the show, and I'd like to think that I found him.
You found him. You found him.
His artwork is incredible.
It is.
And sometimes you see his Hasbro art, like his figure art, and you think, oh, it's all right, but sometimes because he does oil paints, you think, oh, well, it's not really my thing. And then you see a big superstar picture, and you're like, he has nailed that. It's so good.
Yeah. Well, the two we're going to share right now. The first one is the Macho Man Randy Savage from WrestleMania 7.
Yeah, really
that is iconic. That is beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
So good. Now,
love it.
There's three that I really like that Sam Evans has done. That's one of them, and the next one here is spot on. And this is Hogan with Mean Gene. That is sensational. Yeah. That is like prime 92, 91, whatever it may be, WWF golden era. That is awesome. I really want that hanging on my wall. I really do.
How much is it?
I've got no idea. Sam, if you're listening, let us know. Reach out to us.
Yes.
But I'd love the original. I'd love to, not a reprint, I'd love to have the original because that is one of the best paint. Is it oil painting? Do you refer to them as oil paintings?
I think it's an oil painting, but yeah.
That's one of the best oil paintings I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Hey, one thing with that as well, look at Hulk's guns, mate.
Yes.
The 24-inch pythons.
24-inch pythons, mate. It's well done, Sam. And he obviously does it full time. He's pumping out a lot of pieces, right?
Yeah.
Follow him on Instagram, and he did a Mr. Perfect one recently, and he did like a stop motion picture of him actually doing it from start to finish.
Oh,
awesome.
Cool.
And there's another one. It's a WrestleMania 6 one with Hogan and Warrior with Earl Hebner in the middle and the WWF logo in the back. It looks awesome. Looks really, really good. Yeah. So well done, really Sam. Now on to your favorite toy, Mob, Cello Toys. They've just announced or just released the artwork for the Animal LOD figure.
Very cool.
I love the it's from the UK 92. I love the golden shoulder pads. That was a really cool.
Removable shoulder pads.
Yeah. Yep. Well, let's hope they arrive still in the bubble intact on card.
Well, so we didn't see that. So, firstly, this one, the Animal, is an Asylum exclusive. So, over on my other page, the Asylum Wrestling Store, they are selling that one exclusively to their fans and members. So you can buy it from them and from the asylumstore.com. I would say there'll be a hawk coming too. So you don't normally get an Animal without a hawk, and you may even get a precious Paul Ellering as well in the future. Can't confirm any of those though for sure just yet. The bubble situation. Now, love a good bubble falls off the atom bomb that was posted in the page, and the comments sensational. It's exactly what we want from the group. People saying, hang on, this is a known problem. It sucks, but they're going to fix it. So good work, Chella, firstly owning the problem, and then good work, our community, explaining to people how to get their reissue pretty easily. So really cool stuff there. I've got an atom bomb coming too, as well as a Dynamite Kid. So, I've got so many things on pre-order that I might not even collect figures by the time they actually come.
Yeah, my pre-orders are starting to be ticked off the list, which is good, really good.
I haven't got anything.
Really good. Next up, we've got another one of our favourite toy lines is the Heels and Faces. Now you see, finally, the Series 1 shipments have landed in the US, so they should be getting posted out very, very shortly.
Nice big box of Earl Hebner's there.
Earl Hebner's, yeah. So they must arrive in individual boxes rather than cases, like a box of Earl Hebner's and a box of Sabu's and a box of Matt Cardona's. You know what I mean?
It's going to be a long sort to put all those together.
Yeah, absolutely. They've also... What's that, mate?
You got to get the guy out of the mailroom to go and sort those out.
Yes. Also from the Heels and Faces line, they released the Kevin Sullivan prototype. Now, that looks pretty cool. Not for me, but that's a cool-looking prototype. Very, very good.
It looks cool, but it's also not for me. Not a big Kevin Sullivan fan.